That's the wrong question. Are the things we are embracing helping us get closer to God? Because if we're listening to things and watching things and reading things that are feeding our mind godliness, it's that which is helping us be a better Christian closer to God. So often we might say, well, the things that I embrace, the things that I listen to, they're not so bad. But what did I just say? I said they're bad. They're just not so bad. And oftentimes we'll spend a bulk of our life listening to things or watching things or reading things or being influenced by things that absolutely do nothing for us spiritually as far as growing. In order to grow, sometimes we have to exchange things that, quite frankly, are good for things that are better. And if we're going to go beyond that, we're going to have to exchange sometimes some things that are better for the things that are best. And may I say this, it's not wise being close to the edge. Another illustration that I like to use from time to time that illustrates the edge, suppose I were to move to Fairbanks and I wanted to start a bus company. Or maybe we just use church buses that we have parked outside. And I need drivers. Matter of fact, I'd be willing to pay $1,000 a day for you to drive a bus only for 1 hour that day. $1,000 a day for a bus driver. How many people would be interested in the job? Preacher has his hand in the air. That's wonderful. Brother Gray has his hand in the air. That's wonderful. Keep your hand in the air because I'm looking around. Okay. You'd like a job like that, huh? Well, you got to take a test. You say, what's the test? Well, the test is you got to take one of those church buses out there, and you got to go up in the mountains. And let's imagine there's a mountain road, and there's a dead man's curve. And at dead man's curve, there's a 1,000-foot cliff. And I want you to drive around that 90-degree turn as fast as you possibly can and see how close you can get to the edge without going over. Because if you can do that safely, I would say I could use you as a bus driver because you'd be a very good bus driver. Are you game? $1,000 a day. He'll do it, he said. I'll do it. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're all getting on the bus. We're going to ride with him. You feel comfortable? We get on the bus, he cranks it up. Turbocharged church bus. We're going down the road, he's gaining speed, 35, 40, 50 miles an hour. Dead man's curve's coming up, and he goes around the curve at a good clip, and he gets very close to the edge. We close our eyes, we have no idea what has happened. When he stops the bus, we open our eyes and say, does it look like heaven? I guess I survived. We get out, we walk back to the edge of the cliff to see where the tire print is. And we are amazed when we measure, it's only 12 inches away. Wow. We came within 12 inches of dying. You're a good bus driver. We drive back into Fairbanks. And I said, we have found our bus driver. And this young man, what's your name? Huh? Elijah. Elijah's there, and he says, well, I came to see if I could get that bus driving job. I said, I don't think we need another bus. No, look, I can do anything that he can do better. Oh, you can. So now he's going to drive, and we're going to see if we can beat the record. We're going to see if we can go faster, and we're going to see if we can get closer to the edge. Let's all get back on the bus. Do you even have a driver's license? But he's driving with no driver's license. So we get back on the bus. We don't even wait for it to crank up to close our eyes. We close our eyes immediately. He's going down the road. He goes around the curve. When he goes around the curve, he did a good job. He stops the bus, and we wobble back to the edge of the cliff, and the tire print is inside the other one. We walk over, we measure, we were shocked. We get back on the bus, and they say, how did we do? We came within 6 inches of dying. We drive back into town. I said, man, I tell you what, we have 2 good bus drivers. Brother Duffett is standing there. He said, look, I raised my hand. I'd like that $1,000 a day for driving the bus. I said, well, I don't think we need you. I said, we got 2 wonderful bus drivers. He said, what do you mean? I said, they took the test. They passed the test. He said, what kind of test do you mean? They took one of the church buses, and they drove it at 60 miles an hour. What? One of my church buses at 60 miles an hour? There's not a church bus alive that's safe over 30. What'd they do? They went down Dead Man's Curve, and they got as close to the edge. What? They got close to the edge? I go around Dead Man's Curve. I don't get close to the edge. I hug the bank on the other side. And I would say, you're hired. And I'd rather ride the bus with him than these 2 clowns. Getting close to the edge is just not wise. Trying to choose things that are not so bad, it's just not wise. Now, I remember